How's it going, folks? Wayne are back for another lesson, and today we're going to be talking about chord changes. Okay, so we've got one or two chords under his fingers now, and for the moment that's all the chords we're going to need. You know, once we get a lot of chord changes with these chords, you're going to be able to play literally hundreds of songs, you know, easy songs. So the best way to approach a chord change is look at two simple chords to start off with. So I'm going to go for an E minor to an A sus2. So basically, if we turned it like that, we're just going to be switching the chord down, you know, moving both fingers. It's the same fingering, both down one string. So that would be, so if we do the E minor chord, which we talked about on the first lesson, okay? So that would be just switching the two fingers down and then playing the bottom 5 strings, okay? The best way to get chord changes down is what I call 1 minute chord changes, and it's nothing new. There's loads of other people that do this online, a lot of the other teachers, but my teacher used to do it with me and it works really well. So if you can time yourself for a minute, if you can get a stopwatch or somebody to do it, I use the wife's cooking timer because you can set it for a minute and it actually bleeps after a minute. So what that enables you to do, you can actually count your changes and then you haven't got to worry about counting the clock down or anything. So if you set a clock for a minute and start on the E minor chord, and every time we go back to that E minor chord, it's going to be classed as, 1. So it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they've got to sound right as well. If they sound a bit muffled or you're not to count them, they've got to sound, so don't go too fast that they're sounding really muffled. They've got to be really clear and really clean. So you'll set yourself a little target. After a minute you'll get, I don't know, if you're a beginner you'll get perhaps 8, 9 or 10, and just keep going, So once you've got 10, the next time you're going to obviously try and beat 10, and you'll get better and better really quickly, especially if you're really competitive, I find it works, even with me now, if I'm getting some songs down or some difficult chords in, it still works a treat with me. So try it with loads of different chord combinations. And the best advice I can give you is take a look at some songs that you want to learn. Have a look at, for some really easy songs, some good advice is the really early Beatles stuff, the Eleanor Rigby, I Feel Fine, they've got 2 or 3 chords, and have a look at the chords, have a look at the chord changes, and practice changing from one chord to the other. A G. If we take a G and we go to the D, we can have a look at the fingers that you can actually leave on, which we call anchor fingers. So what I'm doing with a G, remember the G that I showed you, the 4-fingered G. So the handy thing with this one is you can leave the 3rd finger on where the other fingers around it. And look at a target area, concentrate on getting your 1st finger to the 2nd fret, okay, on the 3rd string, and the 2nd finger on the finished string on the 2nd fret, and before you even start strumming, just practice getting the movements in your fingers, because I know it's really difficult as a beginner getting that separation in your fingers. And then once you're comfortable moving your fingers, try strum. We're not strumming yet, we're just single strums. Obviously try and play the right string, so all strings on a G, bottom 4 on the D, and again time yourself for a minute, see how many you can get in a minute time, and the more times you do it the better you're going to get at it, and when you get up to about 30 a minute, that is pretty good going. So that's a G to a D. So there's loads and loads of chords. I haven't got time to go and obviously all the chord changes and everything, that's down to you, but take a look at some songs, have a look at the chords, and try this method, 1 minute chord changes. It works really well. Okay, so and once you've got this under your fingers, we're going to be getting some good simple songs up soon, so I will see you for a lesson very soon.